Hi, I'm Tim Clauter, and I'm going to take you through the core probe cooking. Now, some of the things that we can do with core probe cooking is roast and serve, roast and hold, or overnight cooking, and then we can actually use some of the program roast that are in your menu select. Examples would be something that you might be cooking every day or weekly. You know, items like maybe top round, your rotisserie chicken, fresh turkey breast, baby back ribs, corned beef, brisket. So I'm going to start with the roast and serve next. All right, I'm finished seasoning this pork loin here, and I'm seasoning it with some Cajun seasoning. Now, one important tip for you to know when you're going to be doing cook serve or any roasting is that I have the pork loin on a wire grid so air can get around it. This will really improve the yield and quality of the roast when you go to slice it. I see a lot of chefs actually cook some of their meats right on a sheet pan, and you'll lose yield when you go to slice it. The part on the bottom will be way overcooked. So this is a great tip and one to share with all your colleagues. So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the detachable core probe here. The benefit of this is that we can insert this into our roast and then put the roast into the oven and then plug it in. This will prevent you from getting burns. It'll prevent you from having those probes that are inside the oven. You don't have to cool it off. A great feature for safety, the quality of the roast, and it just makes it so much easier to handle, and it's easier to sanitize and clean. Now I'm going to insert the core probe. Always insert the core probe into the thickest or core temperature, or core center, if you will, of your roast to get the best, most accurate reading. I've just loaded the pork loin into the Hydrovection. Now, this is an important point. You have two choices here and two modes. You have dry heat or hot air, and you have the hydro mode, which is a mixture of moisture and hot air, okay? The hydro mode is what I'm going to choose because it's going to give me better yields, faster cooking, more moisture around the product. The items that lend themselves, pork loin is perfect, or any type of pork product, any type of poultry, turkey, chicken, Cornish game hen, quail, any type of those items are perfect for the hydro mode, and you'll get the best and fastest results. And now select the hydro key, and 30% humidity is the perfect amount of humidity for our roast today. Now I can choose between what time or probe, and I'm going to select core probe here. It'll light up and it'll give me a choice. Do you want to cook and hold? Yes or no. I don't want to cook and hold. I would like to cook and serve. Then the menu select will ask you, what internal temperature would you like? I would like to cook the pork roast to 150 degrees. So now let me just insert down here and I'm ready to go. When you're cooking and serving, the temperature that I selected was 350 degrees, and the internal temperature is 150. So the oven will stay at 350 degrees until I achieve 150 degrees temperature inside my pork loin. Now, what's important for you to know, you will always have carryover temperature when you're cooking and serving. So once I pull the roast out to let it rest, it'll continue going up in temperature, sometimes from 10 to 15 degrees. Smaller roast can go up to 350 degrees. So choosing the temperature you cook at will depend on the increase in rise of the roast, okay? And we always know that if you have time, the lower and slower you cook will give you the optimal results in yield and quality. But sometimes we have to get things done very quickly, like pork roast, pork loin, tenderloins of beef. There's items that we need to cook and serve pretty quickly. This lends itself to getting it done quickly. Now, if you want to find out the information about what the internal temperature is for your roast, it displays right in the window here. It's 65 degrees inside our pork roast. It also says core probe and set temperature is 350. If you need more information, you just select the temperature key down here and push it, and it'll show you core probe temperature, actual temperature, the pull temperature, and your set temperature. This is all the information you need to keep track of what's going on with your roast. The display control is going to give you all the information you need at the push of a button whenever you need it. Okay, now we're going to talk about cook and hold. The Hydrovection with menu select is going to allow you to cook whatever roast that you want to the internal temperature that you want, and then hold it for as long as you want, even overnight. And what a great way to save a lot of money and also have a lot of things done while you're at home. The real secret to this is low and slow. Low fan speed, low temperature, slow cooking, slow roasting. It'll give you the highest possible yield, quality, and portioning that you can possibly get. Now, what's important? Classically, we were all taught to sear a roast and brown it all up and then transfer it to a holding cabinet and cook it slow all night long. With the Hydrovection, you don't need to do that. It's all built in as standard. Okay, so when you're choosing cook and hold, the most critical things that you need to be aware of is you must choose the gentle fan speed for cooking and holding. You'll definitely get the caramelization and browning that you're looking for. And then the mode. It's absolutely critical whenever doing cook and hold to always use the hot air mode. Okay, you can do almost anything that you can probe in cook and hold. Why would you only want to use hot air? Because when we use hydro, it'll sometimes the humidity, extra humidity in there will actually make the meat turn a little bit gray, and it won't give you the best looking roast that you want for display carving stations and roasting where the customer is going to see the roast. So for cook and hold, you want to select the hot air mode as we discussed. Okay, you want to select the temperature, 225 degrees, nice and low. Select the fan speed, gentle. Okay, that's what I want, gentle. Auto reversing fan, auto, good there. And then we'll select the probe key, and it'll say, would you like to cook and hold, yes or no? Yes, I do want to cook and hold. I can set the pull temperature for 134 degrees, that's exactly what I want. I want a nice, medium, rare prime rib, okay? Thoroughly cooked. And then all you have to do is just plug in the core probe. You can see it'll flash when it's done, and then it'll automatically go into the hold cycle and start counting up. That's what you would expect to see at the end of our roast. And now it'll just hold for as long as you really want it to and count up. So when you walk by, you can see exactly how long it's been in there and holding. Okay, now I want to show you the prime rib. And you can see how easy it is to have the probe right in there. It's detachable. I don't have to fight it from the inside, and I'm not going to break it. So we'll set that aside. We have the nice hot prime rib. In this particular case, when you're cooking low and slow, and this is cooked to an internal temperature of 134 degrees, and then it went into a holding cycle, and we held it about 14 hours. So I'm going to actually, and when we season this, we actually have a bone-in 109 rib here, and I seasoned the ribs on both sides as well as all the meat. I like cooking and get the flavor with the bone-in, but I'm going to sell them separately. This will give me the prime rib, the maximum number of portions that I want, and I'm going to sell the ribs by themselves as appetizers. So I'll get the maximum amount of money for this roast. So let me transfer it over here to the cutting board, and you see it's on a wire grid. I've got a little parchment paper below to catch any of the drippings or the fat. Woo, that's nice and hot there. So let me move this here like that. And let's see, so what I'm going to do is separate the bones, for the meat from the ribs. Oh, that looks good. Okay. All right, so here's my rib special for the day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nice prime rib bones. And then we can portion this, okay? Let me cut this right in half and show you exactly what we're looking at. This is 134 degrees. Now you can set it for any temperature you want, but we cooked it to 134 and then we held it for 14 hours. The meat is all set up. It is absolutely moist and juicy. You can see the juice coming out of it. It's totally set. The one thing that I want to point out to you is that you can actually purchase a select and or choice cut of meat, low temperature cook it, and get the results as if it were a prime cut of meat. It's a great money maker, and the results are phenomenal. Now, every hour of holding is like 1 day of dry aging. So every hour it holds is just improving the quality of your roast. So you can get consistent results time and time again just by selecting cook and hold. Yes, set the temperature and you're done. It couldn't be any easier with the Hydrovection with menu select. So now you had an opportunity to see a little bit about cook and serve with the pork loin. We did overnight cook and hold with the prime rib, and with the menu select, other programs are already built into the appliance. So if you want to do rotisserie chicken, baby back ribs, prime rib, they're all in there. Just select the item that you want and hit start and you're ready to go. So the Hydrovection oven with menu select gives you a whole variety of all these things that you can do perfect every single time.